From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. A court order will keep protesters away from one of BC's largest Sikh temples this weekend. The temple's hosting an annual event Saturday where Indian consular staff help seniors with things like their pension documents. Temple leaders say they expect significant protests after the RCMP accused Indian officials of being involved in criminal activity in Canada. A lawsuit demands the Supreme Court of Canada translate thousands of its court decisions dating as far back as 1877. But the Supreme Court argues the Official Languages Act does not apply to court rulings before the law was passed in 1969. A Quebec civil rights group disagrees, and its lawsuit argues the Official Languages Act applies retroactively and says the rulings still bear legal weight. Ontario is tackling auto theft by creating a new provincial offense for fraudulent vehicle registrations. It's aimed at cases of vehicle identification number fraud. Transportation Minister Prabmeet Zakaria says that's where someone steals a VIN from a vehicle, then uses that number to register a stolen vehicle.
It's these types of activities that, despite seeming like almost victimless crimes, are driving carjackings, late-night robberies, and chaos in communities throughout the province.
The announcement comes the same day Toronto police announced hundreds of charges in an auto theft investigation involving the use of fraudulent VINs, and they allege some Service Ontario employees were involved. A pair of bronze feet is all that's left of a giant statue of Formula One racing legend Gilles Villeneuve. Thieves sped off with the rest of the statue from outside the Gilles Villeneuve Museum in Berthierville, northeast of Montreal.
Beautiful statue, and now is missing. It's an important part of the museum collection.
Museum manager Alain Belhumeur says he thinks the statue was sawed off at the ankles sometime between Wednesday night and Thursday. Canadian investors will be keeping a close eye on the outcome of next week's U.S. presidential election. As Canadian press reporter Rosa Saba explains, no matter who wins, markets will be relieved to be rid of the uncertainty.
There's a lot of jitters, there's volatility in the market, people are uncertain, investors are uncertain. And often when the election over, there's a bit of relief, if only because it takes uncertainty out of the market.
But she says a lot of factors affect the stock markets, not just who's sitting in the Oval Office. Randy Bachman is taking Bachman-Turner Overdrive on the road, minus Fred Turner. Bachman revealed he was reviving the band more than a year ago, and at the time, Bachman said Turner was on board. Now, a representative for Bachman says Turner is no longer involved, but declined to provide further details. BTO's Canadian tour will begin next April. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the league-leading Winnipeg Jets are in Columbus tonight to face the Blue Jackets in NHL action. Also tonight, Ottawa visits the New York Rangers. Calgary welcomes New Jersey. In the NBA, the Toronto Raptors are home to LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Canada's Rachel Homan will play for gold at the Pan-Continental Curling Championship after posting a 6-5 extra-end victory over China's Wang Rui in semifinal action in Alberta. Homan's Ottawa team will face defending champion South Korea in tomorrow's final. Fresh from a quarterfinal penalty shootout win over York United FC, Atletico Ottawa captain Maxime Tissot looks forward to tomorrow's semifinal at defending Canadian Premier League Forge FC. Tissot's retiring at the end of the season.
I want to end my career on a high note by winning, and we're 2 games away from that.
The winner moves on to face Cavalry FC in the November 9th championship game at Atco Field. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.